And according to your website, you're also, I'm going to quote here, a longtime Democratic Party activist who served as a member of the 2016 Democratic National Convention's Platform Standing Committee, close quote. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. You support Hamas, do you not?
Senator, oddly enough, I'm going to say thank you for that question because it demonstrates the purpose of our hearing today in a very
Let's start first
way.
with a yes or no.
Hamas is a foreign terrorist organization that I do not support, but you asking the executive director of the Arab American Institute that question very much puts the focus on the issue of hate in our country.
Well, I got your answer, and I appreciate it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most intense congressional exchanges you'll ever see. Senator John Kennedy absolutely refusing to let a witness dodge his questions about Hamas, Hezbollah, and Iran. This hearing has been making waves across social media, and for good reason. When politicians actually ask direct questions and demand real answers, things get spicy fast. So let's break down exactly what happened in this fiery confrontation.
What is the, you support Hezbollah too, don't you?
Again, I find this line of questioning extraordinarily disappointing,
Is that a
Senator.
no?
That
Or
you have Arab American constituents that you represent
is
in your
that
great state.
Yes, ma'am, I understand that, but my time's limited, and I apologize, but is that a yes or a no?
A yes or no question to do I support Hezbollah? The answer is I don't support violence, whether it's Hezbollah, Hamas, or any other entity that invokes it.
You can't
So
bring
no,
yourself to say no, can you?
No, I can say no. I can say yes.
But
What
you
I can
haven't.
say is
You just
your
can't
line
make
of
yourself
questioning.
do it. Do you
Senator,
support or oppose Iran and their hatred of Jews?
Again, I'm going to emphasize Iran, Hezbollah, Hamas, none of them is going to, this
you
discussion.
You can't bring yourself to say no, can
Sir,
you?
I don't support.
It's real simple.
Excuse me, I'm going to, if I may, as a Muslim woman, sir, I'm going to tell you I do not support Iran. But what I will tell you is that this conversation.
I'm running out of time. I'm sorry. You called our decision to cut funding. You called our decision to cut fund. Well, first, what's the United Nations Relief and Works Agency?
It's UNRWA, which is the institution that exists to provide services and aid to the nearly 6 million Palestinian refugees.
And you called our decision to cut funding for them, quote, an incredible moral failure, close quote.
That is absolutely correct. But again, I would suggest that conversation is about foreign policy.
We did that because 9 UNRWA staff members were fired for actually helping Hamas on October 7th. Isn't that the case?
I don't believe that that's correct in terms of...
Let me ask you one more time. You support Hamas, don't you? You support UNRWA and Hamas, don't you?
Sir,
Please.
I think it's exceptionally disappointing that you're looking at an Arab American witness before you and saying you support Hamas.
You know what's disappointing to me?
I do not support Hamas.
Bring yourself
I do not support Hamas.
You don't support UNRWA. You don't support Hamas. You don't.
I was very clear in my support for UNRWA.
Hezbollah, and you don't support Iran. You should hide your head in a bag.
Before we jump into the heat, let's set the stage. This hearing featured testimony from Executive Director of the Arab American Institute. Senator Kennedy makes sure to establish right away that this person is, in their own words, a longtime Democratic Party activist who served on the 2016 Democratic National Convention's Platform Committee. Why does this matter? Because Kennedy's about to expose a massive disconnect between diplomatic talk and straight answers about terrorism. This witness isn't just some random person. They're deeply connected to Democratic Party politics and policy positions. Kennedy wastes no time getting to the point. He asks point blank, "You support Hamas, do you not?" The witness's response is fascinating. First, they actually thank Kennedy for the question, claiming it demonstrates the purpose of our hearing today regarding hate in America. Then they finally say they don't support Hamas and acknowledge it's a terrorist organization. But here's where it gets interesting. Instead of just saying, no, I don't support Hamas, they immediately pivot to suggesting Kennedy's questioning itself is problematic. Classic deflection technique. Answer the question, but then try to make the questioner look bad for even asking it. Kennedy doesn't stop there. He moves on to Hezbollah, asking if the witness supports them too. Again, no direct answer. The witness calls the line of questioning extraordinarily disappointing and mentions Kennedy's Arab American constituents. When pressed again with a simple yes or no question, the witness gives this non-answer. I don't support violence, whether it's Hezbollah, Hamas, or any other entity that invokes it. Kennedy's response: can't bring yourself to say no, can you? Then comes the Iran question. Kennedy asks if they support or oppose Iran and their hatred of Jews. The witness identifies herself as a Muslim woman and says she doesn't support Iran, but again tries to change the subject. Before we get to the next part of this explosive exchange, if you're enjoying this breakdown of political theater versus reality, smash that subscribe button. I deliver these raw, unfiltered analyses of what's really happening in Washington every week, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. The conversation then shifts to UNRWA, the United Nations Relief and Works Agency that provides aid to Palestinian refugees. Kennedy points out that the witness called America's decision to cut funding to UNRWA an incredible moral failure. Kennedy explains the funding was cut because 9 UNRWA staff members were fired for allegedly helping Hamas during the October 7th attacks. The witness disputes this claim. This is crucial context. We're talking about an organization where employees have been implicated in actively supporting terrorism, yet the witness considers cutting their funding a moral failure. The exchange ends with Kennedy circling back to his original question, repeatedly pressing, "You support Hamas, don't you? You support UNRWA and Hamas, don't you?" The witness responds by saying it's exceptionally disappointing that Kennedy would ask an Arab American witness such questions. Kennedy fires back, "You know what's disappointing to me? You can't bring yourself to say you don't support Hamas." The witness insists they were very clear in not supporting Hamas, but Kennedy's frustrated closing comment says it all. You should hide your head in a bag. This exchange reveals everything wrong with how these hearings typically go. A simple yes or no question gets turned into accusations of hate and bigotry. Notice how Kennedy kept trying to get direct answers while the witness kept trying to reframe the questioning itself as the problem. What do you think? Was Kennedy being too aggressive, or was he just cutting through the usual diplomatic double talk to get to the truth? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this breakdown valuable, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. We'll be covering more of these confrontations that the mainstream media either ignores or spins beyond recognition. Until next time, stay informed and question everything.